For centuries, Makkah was the heart of Arabia, home to the Kaaba, the house of Allah built by Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail, a sanctuary meant for peace. But by the 7th century, this sacred city had become a hub of idol worship, arrogance, and tribal conflict. For over 20 years, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers endured relentless persecution, torture, and exile at the hands of Makkah's elite, the Quraysh. But in the year 8, something truly miraculous happened. The conquest of Makkah, or Fath Makkah, was achieved without bloodshed, a victory of mercy that would forever change the course of human history. This story really begins 2 years earlier with the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. This agreement between the Muslims of Medina and the Quraysh of Makkah seemed unfavorable at first, but it was a masterstroke of divine wisdom. It gave Islam the space it needed to breathe and grow. People across Arabia saw the justice and compassion of the Muslims, and the number of converts grew exponentially. But the Quraysh couldn't keep their end of the bargain. Their allies, the Banu Bakr, treacherously attacked the Khuzay tribe, who were allied with the Prophet. This was a clear violation of the treaty. Cries for justice reached Medina, and the Prophet knew the time for decisive action had come. With unmatched wisdom, he began assembling an army of 10,000 men, a force unheard of in Arabia. He kept the mission a secret, even from his closest companions. Why? Because this wasn't about revenge or destruction. This was a mission to liberate the sacred sanctuary from falsehood. The goal wasn't land or wealth. It was to purify the Kaaba and restore its true purpose. As the massive Muslim army marched from Medina, their discipline and unity were awe-inspiring. The Quraysh had spies everywhere, but the secrecy was so complete they were left utterly confused. There was a close call, though. A companion named Hatib ibn Abi Balta sent a secret letter to warn the Quraysh. But through divine revelation, the Prophet was informed and the letter was intercepted. And here's the amazing part. Instead of punishing him, the Prophet forgave Hatib, understanding that he acted out of fear for his family in Makkah. This incredible act of forgiveness shows the Prophet's focus on the greater good. When the army camped just outside Mecca, the Quraysh finally understood the situation. Abu Sufyan, their leader and one of Islam's fiercest enemies, came out to negotiate. He was completely overwhelmed by the power and dignity he saw. His heart softened and he accepted Islam. The Prophet, in a brilliant move, granted him a special honor, declaring that anyone who took refuge in Abu Sufyan's house would be safe. This calmed the pride of the Quraysh and ensured a peaceful entry. The entry into Makkah was unlike any conquest the world had ever seen. The Muslim army advanced in disciplined ranks, their banners flying, but their swords were sheathed. There was no looting, no burning, no massacre. The same people who had driven the Prophet out of his home watched in stunned silence as he re-entered, his head bowed in humility and gratitude to Allah. It was the ultimate victory of humility over arrogance, mercy over vengeance. One of the most powerful moments came when the Prophet entered the Kaaba itself. For centuries, it had been defiled with 360 idols. With his blessed hand he touched each one, reciting the verse from the Quran, "Truth has come and falsehood has vanished." Indeed, falsehood is bound to vanish. One by one, the idols fell, and the Kaaba was restored to its sacred purpose, a house for the worship of the one true God. Imagine the emotion of that moment. Believers weeping with joy, the Quraysh bowing their heads in awe, and the legacy of Prophet Ibrahim being revived in its purest form. But the most astonishing part of Fath Makkah was what happened next. The Prophet gathered the people of Makkah, the very same people who had tortured him, exiled him, and fought wars against him. He asked them, "What do you think I will do to you?" They replied, "You are a noble brother, the son of a noble brother." And then he announced a general amnesty. "Go, for you are free," he declared. "No revenge, no executions, no humiliation. Only pure, unconditional forgiveness." This act of mercy shattered the hearts of the Quraysh more powerfully than any sword ever could. Thousands embraced Islam that day, not out of fear, but from the realization that such profound mercy could only come from a man guided by the divine. And then, another powerful symbol. The Prophet asked Bilal ibn Rabah, the former slave who was once tortured on the burning sands of Makkah, for saying, "Ahad in Ahad, God is one," to climb atop the Kaaba and give the call to prayer, the Adhan. The voice proclaiming the oneness of Allah now echoed from the very heart of Arabia. The oppressed was now honored, and the oppressors were humbled. The conquest of Makkah wasn't just a military victory, it was a spiritual revolution. It marked the end of idolatry in Arabia and the beginning of Islam's journey as a universal message of peace. Within 2 years, the entire Arabian Peninsula would embrace Islam. The secret to this incredible success wasn't military might. It was the Prophet's unwavering patience, his profound mercy, his brilliant vision, and his focus on winning hearts, not just conquering lands. Fath Makkah is a timeless lesson for all of humanity. It teaches us that true victory isn't about shedding blood or humiliating your enemies. It's about transforming hearts through justice, compassion, and forgiveness. This was not just the conquest of a city, but the conquest of arrogance, of hatred, and of falsehood. It remains one of the greatest and most inspiring turning points in human history. If this story inspired you, if the mercy of the Prophet moved your heart, please help us share this message. Click the like button to spread this positivity, share this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories from our glorious heritage. Let's keep the flame of knowledge and inspiration alive. Thank you for watching.